Hello and welcome to Competology Academy. And today we are going to start our new series that is going to be the current affairs MCQ, and this MCQ set is going to be there for the questions which will be in the current relevance, current affairs issues, and you will get these questions bi-weekly, that is twice a week. The questions will be within sets, so here you will get these things quite easily. And for those who have not subscribed our channel, please go on to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos, right? So specifically these MCQs is not going to be specific for any particular exam, but it is going to be relevant for all the exams, right? So any of the competitive exam which goes on, that for that matter it is going to be relevant. And those who are live, please go on to comment the answer of these questions which we are going to start discussing over here. So let us start with the set 1. Sri Ganesh karte hain aaj, hai na? So the first question is, consider the following statements. So here first question is, the recent situation is like that India is going to host the G20 meet. So the G20 questions are going to be in news. The G20 issues are going to be in news. The questions may be asked in the competitive exams quite often. And here the first question is, India's G20 presidency theme is Vasudevam Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family and One Future. So here this statement is correct, and whoever have seen the logo of G20 summit that is being hosted by India, then they are quite easily knowing that this is the correct statement, right? Next is, during India's G20 presidency, the Troika will comprise Indonesia, India and Brazil respectively. So this Troika is the secretariat. This is basically working for the G20. G20 does not have any of its dedicated secretariat, but this secretariat facility is provided by the last president of G20, the current president of G20 and the next president of G20. So the last president of G20 presiding country was Indonesia. Currently it is being presided over by India, and the next presiding nation will be Brazil. So both the statements are correct. Thus the answer will be both 1 and 2, that is B, right? Now go on to read the next question, that is, with reference to the Indian Science Congress, consider the following statements. So the first statement says that it is organized by Indian Science and Engineering Research Board. So you have to know specifically about these things, and you should go on to write the answer in the comment section also. Next statement is, its first meeting was held in 1914 at the premises of the Asiatic Society, Calcutta. So what do you think about this question, right? So it is a matter of fact, the factual question is there, but every year the Indian Science Congress is being organized, and this year it was 108th Indian Science Congress, which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi through video conferencing. And here the theme of this year's Congress was the science, that is the science for sustainable development with women empowerment, right? So science and technology for sustainable development with women empowerment was the theme of this year's Indian Science Congress. And here the next thing is that it is not being organized by the Science and Engineering Research Board, right? But it is organized by Indian Science Congress Association. So ISCA is the organization which organizes Indian Science Congress. So the first statement is a wrong statement. However, the second statement is correct statement. It was first organized, first meeting was held in 1914 at the premises of Asiatic Society of Calcutta in January. Between 15 to 17 January it was organized. 15 to 17th January in to 1914, right? So the correct answer will be B only, right? The correct answer will be B only. Now come to the next question. Which of the following statement is or are correct? So here first statement is zero click attack are associated with spear phishing. So here zero click attack are associated with spear phishing. This is a statement. What do you know about zero click attacks? So again, many of the types of attacks, Trojan horse, honey bleed, and such kind of cyber attacks goes on everywhere every day, and the systems are vulnerable to such kind of cyber attacks, right? So cyber crime has become more dangerous nowadays than the physical crimes, right? So virtual world, the dark net is becoming more dangerous day by day. So go on to answer the questions, go on to comment the answer of the questions in the comment section below. It is completely yours, right? So here the next thing is that the spear phishing is a method to gather personal information using deceptive emails and websites. So if you know about the first statement, then it will be very easy to answer the question using the second statement. Spear phishing is a zero click attack. It means that you don't have to interact with whatever the email you have received on your system, or whatever the updates you have received on your system, or whatever the mails, photographs, whatever it is, the kind of communication you are receiving. You don't have to click on that, you don't have to interact on that. As soon as it comes to your system, it comes to your mobile, the cyber attack is concluded, cyber attack is on your system, on your gadget, and they will start the spear phishing. This is known as zero click attack. So here the spear phishing method is used to gather the personal information using deceptive emails and websites. Even if you go on to surf some of the websites, those are illegal websites, those are not having the SSL or various such kind of things are there on the internet. So in such circumstances, what will happen? You will lose your personal data, right? So this is the spear phishing, the zero click attack method. So the answer here becomes both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct, right? Now, this is going to be a lengthy question, so be focused. Here, question says that consider the following statement regarding the cultivation of shrimps. So first is the sustainable aquaculture in mangrove ecosystem, SAIME, associated with the restoration of mangroves by the cultivation of the shrimps, right? And the aquaculture, second statement says that the aquaculture cultivation or farming practice of the shrimp can be performed in the freshwater environment only. So if you see any of such kind of the statement with exaggeration, only, definitely, then have extra focus on such kind of statements. These statements, these exaggerations are going to make you commit the mistakes, right? So here, what do you think about these statements? First statement says that the sustainable aquaculture in mangrove ecosystem, that is short form SAIME, associated with the restoration of the mangroves by cultivation of the shrimps. This is a correct statement. And in 30-acre area, 30 acres of area in Sundarban Delta region in West Bengal, this SAIME method is being used to cultivate the shrimps, right? So here it is for restoring the whole system, ecosystem of the mangrove region in the deltaic region of Sundarbans Delta, right? So first statement is correct, but here it says that only, it is not correct, right? So the shrimps, crabs, whatever the crustaceans, which are being used by the humans as an edible thing, can be cultivated, can be reared in marine water as well as the fresh water. So in both the water systems, they can be cultivated, they can be reared, they can be farmed. So the second statement becomes a wrong statement, and thus the answer will be only one, that is A. So for question number 4, only the first statement is correct, right? Now come to the next question. So the next question says that consider the following statement about digital banking units. Digital bank units. So nowadays the everything is going on digitized. In India, the digitization is at a considerable pace, specifically after coming of Geo. The data has become so cheap that nowadays even the people are doing too much of digital transactions, and it has become a quite like that of easy for the people to not to go to the bank for getting the cash or ATM. So the physical existence of the bank have become not that much of importance for the common people, right? It is going on. So you have to know about the DBUs, the digital bank units. So the first statement says what? They have no physical branches, right? So they have no physical branches, right? So the name here itself suggests that digital means that they are virtual, they are digital. So there is no need to have physical branches of these banks. Quite obvious, right? So the first statement is a correct statement. They are completely independent bank to be licensed under the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So wherever a bank is going on to be established, they have to get the license under the Banking Regulation Act. So by itself, the second statement becomes correct, right? So the second statement, again, it is correct. Next is, they have to follow the Reserve Bank norms on par with the commercial banks. So it is quite obvious, if you are establishing a bank which is doing the transaction, commercial transactions, then definitely they will have to follow the Reserve Bank's norms, because all the banks, the supervisory authority for all the banks is with the Reserve Bank of India. So definitely you have to follow that if you are establishing a digital bank unit. So again, third statement will be correct, right? And what about the fourth statement? DBUs do not have legal personality and are not separately licensed under this act. So again, this statement is correct, because the DBUs, digital banking units, can be established by already existing banks. So they will not have any legal personality, that is, they will not have any legal personality and cannot function separately, but they will function under or along with the scheduled commercial banks, right? So here the fourth statement is also correct. So thus the answer for question number 5 will be all the above statements are correct, right? All the above statements are correct. Now come to question number 6. So here what it says, consider the following statements regarding Lakshadweep. So everybody knows that Lakshadweep is a union territory of India that is in Arabian Sea, and the whole Lakshadweep, the island system, is coral in origin, right? They lie between 280 kilometers to 480 kilometers off the coast of Kerala. So such are the common informations. The total number of islands in this island group or the archipelago is 36, out of which one has got submerged. So now the remaining are 35. So the coastal erosion has led to the submersion of one of the island. Earlier there were 36 islands. Now at present 35 islands are there, right? So this is the common information, everybody knows that. Now come to the statements. So here it comes under the jurisdiction of Kerala High Court. So what it says, it comes under the jurisdiction of Kerala High Court. So as we all know that there are not equal number of the high courts according to the number of states that exist in India, right? Many of the states have common high courts for them, as well as you will find that in the UTs, in terms of UTs, you will find that only the Delhi Union Territory as well as Jammu and Kashmir, these two union territories have their own high court. Otherwise, all the union territories, other union territories does not have the high court for them. Even many of the states does not have the high court for them, like Goa does not have the high court for it. It comes under the Mumbai High Court, right? So here the first statement is a correct statement. Lakshadweep comes under the jurisdiction of Kerala High Court, right? Lakshadweep comes under the jurisdiction of Kerala High Court. And what does the next statement says, that Malayalam is the official language. So again, this is the correct statement. Malayalam is the official language. It is the lingua franca of Lakshadweep, right? Next statement is what? It is a uni-district union territory. So the whole Lakshadweep is classified, whole Lakshadweep is organized as a single district. It is a correct statement because the total geographical area of Lakshadweep is only 32 kilometer squares. So it is not so big that it can be divided into so many districts, right? And that is why Lakshadweep is classified as a uni district, right? Now here all the three statements are correct, so the answer will be definitely D. Question number 6, the answer will be D, right? Now go on to read the next question. So again, it is a long question, so you will have to put too much of effort to answer this question. So here the first statement is, consider the following statement regarding the cases of road accidents and their impact in India. So as we all know, the nation as a whole, India as a whole, experiences too much of the fatalities due to the road accidents. More than 4.5 lakh road accidents occur in India every year annually, and that is the government data. That data is being provided by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Government of India, right? And these are those accidents which are being reported. Most of the road accidents goes on to be reported, but there may be some cases in the remote areas where the road accidents might not get reported. However, take the official data, that's the better thing, right? And next, the first statement is, India ranks at the top with the highest number of fatalities due to road accidents in the world. So it is a correct statement because throughout the world every year around 15 lakh, that is 1.5 million people lose their life due to road accidents. And out of this total number, 11% of the people lose their life in India only. So बाकी के देश बाकी के 89%, 89% में अपना डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर लेंगे. 11% of the total fatalities due to road accidents occur only in India. This is a big number. This comes down to around 1.5 lakh people lose their life annually due to road accidents in India, right? Now here the next statement is what? Despite of COVID restrictions, the year 2020 witnessed the maximum number of deaths due to road accidents. So this is a wrong statement, and by the statement, its nature itself, it is oxymoron, right? Why it is an oxymoron? Because if there was lockdown, then how could the vehicles will come on the road? And if they will not come on the road, then how does the accidents will occur? So there were less number of accidents in the year 2020, although it was more than the fatalities was more than 1 lakh, because the lockdown was not for that much of considerable part of the year, and because of even for the 3 to 4 month lockdown that was there were less fatalities due to road accidents, and that is why it was not maximum, the word maximum. And as I have said, जहां पे भी ज्यादा बोल दिया जाए, जहां पे भी exaggeration हो, then focus on that statement, extra attention should be given to that statement, right? Wherever there is an exaggeration of any statement, then you should go on to consider the statement twice, right? So here the second statement is a wrong statement. Next is the people aged between 18 to 45 years accounts for 60% of the accidental deaths. So again, this is a correct statement. In total, if you go on to study the data, then 67% of the fatalities due to the accidents, these people are in the range of 18 to 45 years, right? 67%. Around two-thirds of the people who die in a road accident are in the age group of 18 to 45 years, right? So here the answer will be only that of 1 and 3. So the answer will be C, right? For question number 7. Now to come to question number 8. Again, an interesting question. So here the question says that with reference to the Atomic Energy Regulatory Authority Board, consider the following statements. So AERB, Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, that is functional in India, right? And this looks after the maintenance, the functioning, the safety issues, and the other things related to the atomic energy plants, right? So nuclear power plants come under the supervisory authority of this regulatory authority of this board. So here the first statement says what? It was constituted by the President of India by exercising the power conferred by the Atomic Energy Act of 1962. So the Atomic Energy Act was passed in 1962. However, the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board was established on 15th of November. Let me to change the color of this pen, right? So it will become a bit more visible. Which color to choose? Purple, I think it would be better, right? So on 15th November 1983, this AERB was established by the president order, and this power to establish this authority was conferred on the president exactly by this Atomic Energy Act of 1962. So this is a correct statement, right? Next statement says that the total number of members, including the chairman and the member secretaries, shall not exceed 10 members, right? So here, this, if you know exactly about the AERB, its functioning and other things, its composition and other things, then you will come to know that this statement is a wrong statement, false statement, because this should not exceed 5 members, not 10, but 5 members, including the chairman of AERB, right? So the second statement is a wrong statement. The first statement is a correct statement. Thus the answer for question number 8 will be 2 only, that is B. Now here some information about our books that are available in the market, that are available online also. You can order these books from our website, from our app. Even you can order it from Amazon. Even you will get these books from bookshops also, if you want to get this one by one. So the whole composition, whole kit of the UPSC syllabus, that is available in both Hindi and English medium. These are the books, total 19 books for English medium, here total 20 books for Hindi medium, as well as our JPSC books for Jharkhand Public Service Commission is also available in both English and Hindi medium. And this is total collection of 9 books which covers the complete syllabus. So here you will find the complete syllabus that is being covered by these books, right? Now come to the next question, that is, with reference to Satyendra Nath Bose, consider the following statements. So the first statement is, he collaborated with Einstein to develop the Bose-Einstein statistics. So Satyendra Nath Bose was a mathematician who was doing the physics research also. He was basically a mathematician. He was having his laboratory at Dhaka University, and he had collaborated with Einstein to develop the Bose-Einstein statistics, and he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan by Indian government in 1954. So again, this statement is correct. So both 1 and 2 is correct. The answer will be the option C, right? So go on to answer the questions. So you people are not answering the question, so it is not of use to discuss these questions just. So if you want to do the answering in the comment section, then it will lead to the mental exercise, the brainly exercise, right? And that will develop your memory power. Like if you want to develop the muscle, then you have to stress your muscles by lifting the load. So give the load on your mind for answering these questions. That will develop your mind also, right? Now with reference to question number 10, with reference to the Vibrant Village program, consider the following statements. So recently in the budget it was announced that the Vibrant Village program will be launched, right? So it has been launched in the finance minister's budget speech. It was announced in that in 2022. So the first statement is a correct statement, right? The next statement is, it is aimed at enhancing the infrastructure in villages along India's border with China in the states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh. So this statement is again correct, because government of India is of the view that due to lack of infrastructure, due to lack of accessibility and other things, the Chinese are gaining some kind of advantageous position, because they have developed the infrastructure, they have populated the regions in their region, that is on the other side of the border, on the Chinese side of the border. So the government of India is also of the view, why not to provide the better connectivity, better transport and communication system, better network connectivity, better internet connectivity, thereafter developing the tourism, thereafter localized renewable energy resources, that of generation of solar energy, hydel power energy, whatever would be feasible. So likewise, providing the complete infrastructure and also facilitate the tourism in these regions. So that is the point under which the government of India have launched this Vibrant Village program, right? And that is dedicated to the border villages in these states, that is the states which share the border with China, right? So here both the statements are correct, and the answer for question number 10 is option C. Now come to the next question, again a long question, that is question number 11. Consider the following statements regarding the Cumming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. Cumming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So as we all know that the global biodiversity and the concept of conference of parties and the other meetings goes on regularly. So here Cumming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework include 4 goals and 23 targets. So Both of these are correct, and we have to achieve these by 2030. By 2030, these global biodiversity targets, that is total 4 goals and 23 targets that we have to achieve. Right. Now, here the next question is, it was adopted at COP15 of CBD, which was held at Montreal Place this Congress December 7 to 19. Right. So again, this statement is correct statement. It was organized at Montreal in Canada. However, it was presided over by China. Although it was being organized in Canada, but it was presided over by China. So there is some kind of issues might be there to understand that. And this was organized, this was held between 7 to 19 December, right, last year, 2022. Now, the next statement is, it is a legally binding framework. So here, these are the nationally declared and the self-assessed goals, and it is not a legally binding framework. So the third statement is wrong statement. Again, here the answer will be option D, that is only 1 and 2, right? Now come to the next question, that is question number 12. Go through the question, right? Go through the question and read the question carefully so that you can get the answer. So just go on to mention the answer in the comment section below, right? So here the statement, let us take the statement, question number 12. With reference to remote voting in India, consider the following statements. So the government of India is trying to introduce a new concept, that is remote voting system in India. And why government of India is trying to do that? So that those people who get migrated to different areas, if you go on to consider the data from the government, then around 37% of the people migrate to some other area. Internal migration within the nation, within the country occurs, that the people leave their own constituency and go on to migrate to other regions in the search of work, in the search of employment. And because of this, in many regions you will find that the voter turnout is very less. Most of the people think that मेरा एक वोट से क्या होगा, काहे को इतनी खर्चे करके जाए हम वोट डालने को, right? So for that matter, to facilitate these people, this remote e-voting machine is going to be introduced. It is being developed by one of the startup, and it will be a non-standalone device which requires proper connectivity to operate. So this is a wrong statement. The first statement is a wrong statement, because by the definition itself, if it will be a connected device, it will have the internet connectivity, then there is no dearth of such kind of technical geeks that they will not be able to hack it. Definitely some or the other person will be there who will be in position to get into the system if it will be connected to the internet. So this has to be a standalone device. Non-standalone device will not be threat proof or hack proof. So this is going to be a standalone device, and in total it will be in position to conduct the election for 72 constituencies, right? So the data for 72 constituencies will be stored in it. This is right now in trial phase. Later on, let's see what goes on. And the next thing is that Representation of People Act needs to be amended to introduce the remote voting system. So when the EVM was introduced, then also the Representation of People Act 1951 was amended. Again, if we have to introduce new system, new thing for voting, then again there is a need to amend the Representation of People Act 1951. So the second statement is a correct statement, and the answer for question number 12 is option B, that is only 2, right? Now come to the next question, that is question number 13. Read the question carefully. It is, Also important question related to environment and ecology, related to biodiversity. So here it says that with reference to king penguin is one of the species of penguin and the second largest species of penguin, right? Consider the following statements. It is found mainly in Antarctica and sub-Antarctic island region. So definitely by the nature of the species itself, you will find these species in the polar region, right? And here the king penguin mainly it is found in the Antarctic and sub-Antarctic region. So option statement 1 is correct. And it says that it is the least concerned under the IUCN list, right? So again, this is the second largest species. So by definition itself, by information itself, you can understand that the second statement is also a correct statement. So it is a least concerned species under the IUCN red list, although we have to preserve them. But here the answer will be option C, that is both 1 and 2 are the correct statement, right? Now come to the next question, that is question number 14. Go on to read the question here. Again, it is going to be an interesting question related to the biodiversity of India. So here, with reference to Nilgiri Tahar, consider the following statements. Nilgiri Tahar. So definitely Nilgiri is the mountain peak or the mountain range that is a part of the Western Ghats, that is the junction of Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, right, where the Eastern Ghats and Eastern Ghats meet each other. So the first statement is it is endemic to the Western Ghats. So Nilgiri is in the Western Ghats, as well as the whole Nilgiri species, Nilgiri Tahar. Now, the name itself is Nilgiri, so definitely it will be found in the Western Ghats. It is endemic to the Western Ghats, right? And it is listed as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List of threatened species. So what does the second statement says? That it is threatened species. So it is not a threatened species, right? It is not a threatened species, but it is a concerned species, right? So here the option is answer A, that is one only, right? Now come to the next question, that is question number 15. Here it says that with reference to mutual legal assistance, MLA, right? T, Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty. So, Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty is basically the treaty between two nations where the two nations help out each other in solving the crime related issues, the international crime or the trans-border crimes. So, here if the two nations have the treaty between each other, then only they will be in position to cooperate with each other, to collaborate with each other with respect to the that of investigation and the other things, right? So here the first statement says that the Ministry of Home Affairs is the general authority of India that deals with the request under this treaty. So basically the law and order, the national level law and order and the other things comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, right? So the Ministry of Home Affairs will definitely be the nodal agency or the central authority that will deal with the requests related to MLAT by any foreign nation, right? Next statement, India has signed this treaty only with United States till now. So here only, again only, so you have to give some extra attention to such kind of statements. Wherever only comes, wherever there is exaggeration, then straight away you should go on to consider extra attention for that question. So India has signed this treaty with 45 nations, not only with United States, but 45 nations. And right now India is in negotiation with Saudi Arabia to sign the MLAT. because many of the perpetrators, many of the terrorists or the economic offenders go on to flee to Dubai, go on to flee to United Arab Emirates. So such kind of things goes on, and that is why India is negotiating the treaty with Saudi Arabia also, right? So here again the option A is the correct answer. That is only one for question number 15. Now question number 16, it says that which of the following is not a potential use for blockchain technology. So what it says, not a potential use. So basically supply chain management can be used with blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, everybody knows about that, voting system, everybody knows about that, and centralized data storage, this is not a potential use. So the answer will be option D, right? Answer will be option D for question number 16. Nowadays blockchain is being used for various purposes, right? So it is being widely used by various companies, various establishments, and the most widely used thing right now is the cryptocurrencies, right? It is a method of the storing information in a sequence, right? Now come to the next question, that is question number 17. Here it says that consider the following statements regarding the Union Budget of India. So the Union Budget of India is an important thing for everybody. Everybody should know about the basic things of the Union Budget of India. Being a citizen of India, it is a necessary thing, right? Now the first statement says that the budget division of the Department of Financial Services in the Ministry of Finance is responsible for the budget preparation. So go on to mention in the comment section that whether this statement is correct or whether this statement is wrong, right? So here option statement 1 is a wrong statement, because the Department of Economic Affairs is responsible for the preparation of the budget, right? For the budget, right? And next statement is that modern India's first ever union budget was presented during the viceroyship of Lord Canning. So again it is a correct statement, and here it was presented in 1860. The first union budget, first budget of India was presented in 1850, right? And the Scotsman James Wilson was the person who was the member of the executive council of the governor, who was the finance member of the executive council of the governor, who had presented the first union budget of India. Next is the separate railway budget was first introduced on the basis of recommendation of Ackworth Committee. So this is again a correct statement. Whoever knows about this thing, recently in 2017 the separate railway budget was abolished. Before that there was a custom of presenting the separate railway budget, and it was introduced in 1924 on the recommendation of Ackworth Committee. And the basic purpose for introduction of separate railway budget in 1924 was that by that time railway had become a too big entity within India, and its budget was almost equal to at that very time that of the rest of the things, the budget allocation of the rest of the things or the rest of the topics. And that is why the Ackworth Committee had said that we need a separate railway budget, because too much of the money of the private sector or the investors of Britain was invested in the railways of India, and that is why the separate railway budget was needed at that very time, right? Next is Article 112 mandates the government to present the macroeconomic framework statements in addition to the annual financial statement, right? So here again this statement is a wrong statement, right? So here what it mandates only the presentation of the annual financial statement, right? So the annual financial statement should be presented, and the macroeconomic framework, this is presented under the FRBMA Act, right? A Financial Responsibility and Management Act, right? FRBMA Act, right? So the answer will be option B, that is 2 and 3 only for question number 17. Next is, consider the following statements regarding the border surveillance system, that is BOSS system, border surveillance system. So here it is an all-weather electronic surveillance system for detecting the intrusion in harsh high altitude areas. So this is a correct statement. This has been deployed recently, and this is a correct statement. So in the harsh high altitude areas, where in the winter season it is very difficult for the physical patrolling and the surveillance of the border areas in the Himalayan region, then it will be very difficult because of the climatic condition during the winter, and for that matter the electronic surveillance system has been introduced. Now the second statement says that it has been deployed in Yangtze, that is Tawang border area. So this is a wrong statement, because this has been introduced in the Ladakh region, right? So this BOSS system has been deployed in Ladakh region. So the answer will be option A, that is one only. Now read the next question, that is question number 19. Again here it is going to be an interesting question, and again this is related to environment and ecology. So here the question says what? Related to, the statements are related to kelp forest. Many of the students might think that कुछ नया नाम लग रहा है भाई, कहाँ से आया ये, right? So they are underwater ecosystem formed in the deep water by the dense growth of several different species. So deep growth of growth of the dense species, right? Dense species, and that is in deep water, and that is forest, which means that clearly it is a vegetation. That means that they should be doing the photosynthesis, and it is quite impossible to do the photosynthesis in the deep water because of the inavailability of the sunlight, which is the primary thing that is needed for conducting the photosynthesis. So by definition itself, it should be in the shallow water, and thus it is found in the shallow water in the coastal regions, right? So this is the thing, these are found in the shallow water in the coastal regions. Next is, they thrive in the cold nutrient rich water, right? So what does it says? They thrive in cold nutrient rich water. So nutrient is needed for the photosynthesis, that is consumption, and this is a correct statement. The kelp forests are found in the coastal areas of North America, right? So the option B is the answer, that is 2 only for question number 19. Next is question number 20, that is, consider the following statement with respect to strategic petroleum reserve. Strategic petroleum reserve. During the lockdown, it was quite in news because nobody was purchasing Saudi Arabia's petroleum product, crude oil, and at that very time, India filled all its caverns for the strategic petroleum reserve, right? So it is maintained under the administrative control of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So definitely this is a correct statement. So it is maintained under OISC, that is the under the Petroleum Ministry, right? OIDB under the Petroleum Ministry. It is maintained under what is happening here? OIDB, that is under the Petroleum Ministry. And second statement says that presently an emergency fuel store of total 5.3 million metric ton is maintained enough to provide 15 days consumption. So here the total amount is correct. Total amount is correct, that is 5.33 million metric ton. However, the time duration that is provided is not correct. Here it is only for 9.5 days. Right, this strategic reserve can fulfill the requirement, fulfill the consumption of the nation only for 9.5 days. Right, so the option B, the statement B is incorrect, so the answer will be option A, that is one only. Right, now come to the next question, that is question number 21. Here it says that which of the following activities is or are permitted in the eco-sensitive zone. Eco-sensitive zone. First is commercial mining, not at all. If it is an eco-sensitive zone and if you will do the commercial mining, then how does the ecology will be conserved? So it is completely two opposite sides of a particular thing, that is ecology related. Organic farming, so the traditional agriculture which is going on in that region, or the organic farming, these things are allowed in the eco-sensitive zone. Next is tourism activities. Tourism activities like hot air balloon over the national park. Again, this is not allowed. This is a restricted thing. So the answer will be 2 only. That is B. 2 only for question number 21. Right. Now come to the next question, that is consider the following statements about Nobel's Helen Butterfly. नोबल्स हेलेन बटरफ्लाई, कितने लोगों ने इसका नाम भी सुना होगा? नाम सुना था आप लोगों ने? कमेंट सेक्शन में बताते जाइए। ये नोबल्स हेलेन बटरफ्लाई, कुछ नया मिला है ना? They are found only in Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam. So here Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam is mentioned. However, Thailand is not the country where it is found. It is found in South China. South China, Myanmar and Vietnam. Right, so these three are the regions where it is found. Next is, it was recorded for the first time in India in Kerala. तो वहां से, from that distant place, that is Myanmar, China and Vietnam, from that region, how could a butterfly can travel to the Kerala region? So definitely by the contiguity definition itself, they should be found in the neighboring regions only, right? So it is not found, it was not recorded in Kerala, but it was recorded in Namdapha. Three regions of Namdapha National Park, that is in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, right? So this was the region where the Nobel's Helen butterfly was recorded. So both the statements are incorrect. So the answer will be neither one nor two for question number 22. Next is, consider the following statements. The Constitution permits the state to make the law regulating or restricting any of the economic, financial, political or other secular activities which may be associated with a religious practice. So here the Constitution, the Article 25 subsection 2, Article 25 subsection 2 enables the state, gives the power to the state to regulate the secular activities of the religious places. So whatever the secular activities, which are the secular activities? That is economic activities, financial activities, political activities and other secular activities, whatever it may emerge later on, these things can be regulated by the state under Article 25 subsection 2, right? Next statement says that the Constitution permits the state to enact a law to prohibit the exclusion of the class or sections of the Hindu society to enter into a Hindu temple of public character. Public character. So whatever the Hindu temples, those are not constructed, regulated and managed by the private authority, by the personal authority, like that of a person who have erected his own temple and he is worshipping in that, and he says that these people are allowed in my temple and these people are not allowed in my temple. In that situation, the government cannot do anything, right? But those temples which are of common nature, which are being managed by the complete community of a village or the government itself, many of the temples or many of the religious places are being managed by the government also. There are the pandits or the pujaris who are being appointed by the government itself. They are on the government payroll, like that of Badrinath Nyas, Kedarnath Nyas, that of Vaishno Devi Nyas. So such kind of boards are being established, trusts are being established by the government to manage any particular religious place. So in such kind of religious places, the government can make the rules and regulations that nobody can be restricted to enter such kind, nobody can be prohibited or excluded to enter such kind of temples which are of public character from entering the temple. That is a Hindu temple, no Hindu person can be restricted from entering it, and this comes under the article 25 subsection 2 ka B, right? So part B, under this article this thing has been mentioned, right? So here both the statements, let's discuss about the option also. So both the statements are correct. So option C for question number 23 is the correct answer. Next is, which of the following statement is or are correct? An area is considered as the forest cover if it has a tree canopy density of more than 10% and a minimum area of 1 hectare. So this is a correct definition, and under this definition itself, the government gives the saplings or the other subsidies under the open forest. Leader, that is light detection, and is used in the forest canopy density for measuring the height of the trees. So again, this statement is a correct statement. Leader is used. This is a satellite system which is used to measure the height of the trees or the canopy density, etc., in a forested region. So both the statements are correct for question number 24. So option C, that is both 1 and 2 are correct. Next is question number 25. Consider the following statements regarding the control rods of nuclear reactors. So nuclear reactors, recently India have commissioned its indigenously developed nuclear power plant of 700 megawatts capacity, right? So definitely you are going to get such kind of questions related to current affairs. Control rods are basically made up of neutron absorbers materials which controls the rate of fission of the radioactive material by absorbing the neutrons. If the neutrons will not be controlled, then definitely there will be an explosion, nuclear explosion. So the controlled reaction is needed in the reactor so that the energy that will be produced can be utilized for the generation of electricity, not for explosion, right? And that is why control rods are needed to absorb extra number of the neutrons that are produced during the fission reaction, so that it should not go on to explode the whole system, right? Next is, the most common material used in control rods are boron, hafnium, and cadmium. Again, this statement is correct. So both the statements are correct for question number 25 also. So again, here, what is there? The answer, that is both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. So the answer will be option C for question number 25. So here we finish off the discussion of set 1 of the current affairs question. Again, join us on Wednesday for the discussion of next set of questions. 25 questions will be there. And those who have not subscribed our channel, please go on to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos or whenever We are live for the discussion of any topic or the current affairs question, MCQs. Various things will be available over here. And please do follow us on our Facebook and Instagram handle. This is the app. The link for this is provided in the description box below. You can go on to download the app from there. You will get the free study materials on the app as well as the website also. Just go on to the menu section and tap the free resources section. You will get the free resources as well as you will get the free test series